James Bond does a lot of killing. After all, he has a license to do it, and to not would be a waste. But 007 isn't the only one, as Her Majesty's Finest inhabits a violent world where deaths aren't just a part of life, they're vicious statements of villainous intent, iconic offings of sacrificial lambs, or glorious acts of heroic retribution. Death is big in the world of Bond, but sometimes the character meets the Reaper in a way that's just a little too psychotic. I'm Adam from WhatCulture.com, and here are the 10 most brutal deaths in Bond movie history. Number 10. The mining department of Zorin Industries. Max Zorin, the Nazi-bred Bowie-esque villain of View to a Kill, is a really bad employer. He's rocking a solid 10 on the Vince McMahon scale of loony boss nonsense. Max is responsible for a few kills in View to a Kill, shoving a man headfirst into a water turbine, dropping a man out of a Zeppelin, but the most brutal is the way he dispatches his entire mining crew. Zorin floods the mine where his loyal employees are just doing their jobs and doesn't just watch as they drown and electrocute themselves on power lines. Nope, he machine guns them as well, laughing as they struggle for precious life. Bad Nazi. That's a bad Nazi. Number 9. Dr. No. Dr. No, from Dr. No, a movie about Dr. No called Dr. No, was a doctor who was 50% Chinese, 50% German, and 100% having no hands. He lost them in an atomic experiment or something, and had them replaced with metal hands instead. Now, metal hands are good for some things, like crushing statues and pimp slapping, etc., but they are very bad at gripping. The good doctor finds this out in a horrible way when he's unable to climb out of a pool of boiling radioactive water. Now, being boiled to death is brutal. Being boiled in a radioactive kettle is the dick punch on the cake. Number 8. Corinne Dufour. What better way to establish a Bond villain as a naughty little so-and-so than by offing one of his own henchmen in a needlessly savage way? Summary dismissals just don't carry that much weight in Bond's universe. Corinne Dufour is the helicopter pilot for Hugo Drax, loony space tycoon and amateur Peter Dinklage impersonator. Corinne aids Bond in one of his plucky escapes and, for her insolence, is fired from Drax's employ, being told to immediately leave his compound. Oh, that doesn't sound too bad. Oh, and then Drax has her hunted through the forest and ripped apart by dogs. That's arguably worse than providing her with a really bad reference. Number 7. Emile Locke. When Jimmy Bond does one of his killings, it tends to have some showmanship behind it, an unlikely theatrical execution, say, but sometimes the simplest kills are the most effective. Emile Locke is a bad man with a bad face who ran over a lady that James Bond liked. We don't do that. Pumped to the gills with man pain, Bond chases Locke down on foot. The chase ends with Locke's vehicle balancing perilously over the edge of a steep drop. Bond throws the dead lady's pendant through Locke's window before kicking his car over the edge. The riposte?
Had no head for heights.
Ice cold. Number 6. Saunders. Another sacrificial lamb to bite it in a way most brutal, Saunders was the head of Section V, the Vienna office of the MI6. He did typical fusty bureaucratic things like tell Bond that he was
bloody late
and telling him to
forget the ladies for once, Bond.
Which is like telling this puppy to forget about being adorable. Look at this adorable puppy. He's precious. As the movie went on, you found out that Saunders was a good sort, really, which made it all the crueler when he was crushed to death by a glass door rigged with explosives. What? Are bullets really that difficult to come by? I mean, the timing required it. Damn. Number 5. Ernst Stavro Blofeld. Blofeld is the Bond villain. He had the cat, the chair, the bald head, the scar, the communist-era grey jumpsuit. Stay classy, Ernst. He was the head of Spectre, haunting Bond at every turn, dropping henchmen into piranha pools and dressing like a lady in Diamonds Are Forever. Ignore that one. Blofeld met his end in the opening scene of For Your Eyes Only, although it's not explicitly him because of a rights dispute to the character between Eon Productions and screenwriter Kevin McClory. But he's bald and he's got a cat, so you figure it out. Even though he's confined to a wheelchair, Blofeld toys with Bond by remote controlling a helicopter that he's riding. 007 counters this by picking up the most iconic and deadly villain in the history of the franchise and dropping the, remember, wheelchair-bound man down a chimney stack. A middle finger to the character and a middle finger to McClory. Number 4. Dario. Benicio del Toro has one of the most evil faces in the world. Look, here it is. Look at that evil face. In License to Kill, a film so violent it was the only one to ever be given a 15 rating, he played Dario, a man who helped feed Felix Leiter to a shark, so, screw that guy. Bond agreed with that sentiment, and during the exploding climax of the film, drags a Nicaraguan nasty boy feet first into a cocaine-grinding machine where he's slowly and painfully shredded. Number 3, Xenia Onatop. Played with relish by Famke Janssen, Xenia Onatop was an assassin who sexed her victims to death, crushing the breath out of them with thighs that go beyond rugby player strong and into Rob Liefeld levels of freakish power. Bond dispatches the murderous sex pest by attaching her via a rope to a helicopter and shooting the helicopter down. As it falls, Xenia is pulled into the branches of a tree and crushed to death. And we cannot end this bit without the Ritty riposte.
She always did enjoy a good squeeze.
Ha ha. Number 2, Elliot Carver. Elliot Carver was a cross between Rupert Murdoch and a slightly more evil Rupert Murdoch. He was a newspaper magnate who decided to build a warship with a private army and bomb China to turn a profit, rather than by, say, cutting outgoing expenses by not doing those stupid things. One of Carver's secret weapons was something that was a cross between a torpedo and a sarlacc, which could chew through iron, steel, and also newspaper magnates. Carver found that out to his horror when Bond fed him to the threshing teeth of the weapon. Ouch. Number 1, Milton Crest. Now this is one of the most uncomfortably violent moments in all of Bond. Milton Crest was a henchman for Franz Sanchez. Look at him, look at his awful face. But after 007 frames Crest for attempting to assassinate the drug baron, Sanchez locks him in a decompression chamber. The pressure ramps up to deadly levels before Sanchez opens the vent with an axe, which causes immediate decompression, and then this happens. That is very horrible indeed. And that's our list. Did we miss any out? Tell us about it in the comments, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and you can follow me on Twitter here. I'm Adam from WhatCulture.com, and I'll see you soon.
Well, he's certainly left with his tails between his legs.